I'm glad that you're feeling a little better. I did want to just get you into this one pose to see if you can find some relief there. It's called half pigeon pose, but before we get into that, I want to just give you a little bit of a warm up to make sure that your body's ready for it. It can be pretty intense, and I personally have a love-hate relationship with it because it feels so good once you're out, but sometimes being in can be kind of hard. But like I told you in my message, we tend to hold a lot of old emotional stuff there. So I've cried in half pigeon before. I've gotten angry in half pigeon. Whatever emotions come up, just let them come and just sit with them. I know you say you don't have much yoga experience. So you might want to grab like a pillow or a rolled up towel, anything that you can use as a prop to help you get comfortable in the poses. And then just something, I don't know if you have a yoga mat, but something that can signify a yoga mat for you, whether that's a towel or like a bed sheet or something folded in half, just so that you have an actual physical place that can be your mat, if that makes any sense. So once you have that, I'm just gonna get you a little bit warmed up into the space, and then we'll go into half pigeon and kind of close with what's called Shavasana or corpse pose, where you can kind of be reborn coming off your mat as a new person. So I hope you enjoy it. Let me know if you have any questions. So once you get your mat, I'm gonna take you to start in child's pose. I'll try to cue you as best I can. It's been a while. But basically you wanna come to a tabletop with your shoulders over your wrists and your hips over your knees. Bring your big toes to touch, and then open your knees as far as wide as is comfortable for you. This may be a little, this may be a lot. You might take your knees off the mat. Whatever feels good in your body is the point of yoga, and it could vary from minute to minute, second to second. So what feels good now might not feel good 5 minutes from now, and that's okay. The whole point is to listen to what feels good for you and not to try to do something that doesn't. So if it feels bad or hurts in any way that's painful, pull back a little bit. It's better to push yourself to get to that point where you feel something, but not to the point of pain. That's counterintuitive to yoga. So from tabletop, bring your big toes to touch, spread your knees as wide as feels comfortable, and then just push back so that your hips and your butt, your glutes kind of rest on your calves or your heels. I'm very inflexible in this pose, so it's hard for me to relax into it. I usually put a towel underneath my the backs of my knees. You're gonna reach your hands forward and push back. What you wanna do is crawl your fingertips forward while you push your hips back towards your heels, and your chest kind of rests on or as close to the floor. Push up through your elbows and rest your forehead on your mat. Take a deep breath in, fill up all the way. Hold it for just 1 second. And open mouth exhale, let it go. What I want you to do is tap into right now and tap out of what was or what is or what will be. Let go of your to-do list or whatever might be on your agenda as you inhale. And exhale, just be right here, right now. And as you settle in, just feel the sensations in your body. Notice what is going on in your fingertips and through your elbows, and your shoulders, and your heart. What you might feel through your hips, what feels good, what might need a little more attention. And as you inhale and exhale, I want you to breathe into those spaces that feel like they need a little extra love, a little extra light. Just inhale your breath and send it into those tight spaces or dark places within you that could use a little extra hug. And as you relax in, just notice how your body feels right now in this moment. And give yourself a little internal hug for coming to your mat and for being here for you, just for you, just for now, right now, in this moment. Take one more big, deep breath, the biggest one yet you've done so far today. And let it go, big open mouth exhale. Everything you don't need, just let it go. And start to sort of like massage your forehead on your mat. Roll your head gently back and forth. Massage into your third eye. And just feel the goodness that the earth has underneath you, supporting you. And the fact that you brought yourself here to work on you, to be with you. Take one more deep breath, coming back to center for your forehead. Exhale, let it go. Let your chest sink a little deeper to the floor, hips a little closer to your heels. And on your next inhale, push up to a tabletop. So bring the palms underneath the shoulders, the hips over the knees, into tabletop. We're going to do some cat-cow exercises. So as you take a deep inhale, fill your back up, pulling like a string around your spine up to the ceiling, like a cat stretching in the morning. Pull your chin to your chest, push through your palms, push through your knees. And as you exhale, let your belly fall, shoulders come up, lift your head high like a cow. And just follow your breath in and out, back and forth between cat and cow in your own time. Just waking up the spine, the hips, getting blood flowing to those areas. And I invite you to close your eyes now that you kind of know what's going on. And make whatever movements feel good to you in your body in these two positions as you keep with your breath in and out. Maybe shake your hips side to side. Maybe do some belly rolls where your rib cage moves in circles one way and then the other. Whatever feels good in your body. Just breathe in and out. Couple more rounds in your own time. Just waking up your spine and your shoulders. On your next inhale, come back to neutral. Tuck your toes, shoot your hips high to the ceiling, and create an upside down V so that your back is straight and there's a slight bend in your knees to protect your joints. Leave your heels up off the floor. Push into your index finger and your thumb as you starfish your fingers out and give yourself a good base. Now keep your knees bent and keep breathing as you shoot your hips towards the ceiling and push back to create a flat back for your shoulders. Virtually a straight line from your fingertips all the way through your hips in the air and then back down to your toes. And you can kind of pedal your feet nice and easy because this is our first down dog of the time, or of the day for me. And whatever feels good, whether that's to bend your knees more or straighten them, come up on your toes, back down, wiggle side to side. Whatever feels good to you, make that your focus. Make sure you keep breathing. And in your next inhale, come up on your tippy toes, keep those knees slightly bent. And as you exhale, just gently lower them down. Bend in the knees is good. You want your back to be pushed in a straight line from your hips down to your middle finger. And really focus on pushing your L into the ground. So starfish those fingers, but push into your index and thumb to protect your wrists. Couple more deep breaths. Take an inhale. Fill up all the goodness and this new perspective on the world from upside down. And exhale. On your next inhale, gaze forward. Walk your feet to your wrists. Bring your feet to touch. And just kind of hang. Keep a slight bend in your knees to protect your knees. And just feel the stretch all through the lower back, maybe around the glutes and down the hamstrings. If you need to bend your knees more, feel free. This is all about what you need right now. And then just walk your toes and heels just about hip width distance apart. Bend into your knees and hang your head and shoot your hips a little bit higher, keeping that slight bend in your knees. But let your head and your arms and your shoulders just hang in ragdoll pose. Just keep breathing here. If it feels good, interlace your arms to your elbows and sway side to side. I like to shake my head. No. Erasing all doubt. And yes, I am here right now for me, where I belong. Just let that gravity pull your upper body as you lengthen your spine and create space in the hips. And on your next inhale, just replace your palms, walk your heels and toes back together. And as you inhale, gently roll up vertebrae by vertebrae to standing, slow as you can, with your head being the last thing that comes up. I'm gonna step back. And just bring your hands to your heart center, palms to touch, fingers wide, and close your eyes. Close your lips, seal them together. Inhale and exhale. And I want you right now just to think of an intention for yourself. Today, mine is going to be self-care, and knowing that I needed to do some yoga today just for myself. Yoga means to yoke, to bring together. So essentially, just by showing up on your mat, you are helping to bring together your body, mind, and spirit. And as you inhale, deeply, deeply, deeply think of that intention, whatever it is. Open mouth exhale, send it out into the world. Flutter your eyes open. And we're gonna do just a little bit of flow to get your body warmed up. Let me move my mat here. So from this position, I want you to reach up high into mountain pose. Heels and toes together, slight bend in the knees, micro bend. It's not even big enough to see really. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, fold forward, bring your hands through your heart space. Bend in the knees, hips back. What you want to do is push your weight into the ball mounds of your feet. Trust that you will have yourself. Keep your back flat from your head to your hips and really feel this opening in that lower back. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Place your palms wherever is accessible, whether that's your thighs or your shins, keeping those feet together, that micro bend in your knees, those hips pushed back, and your weight over the balls of your feet. Really push into your palms or your shins. Keep those shoulders back away, pulled down from your ears. Keep breathing. Inhale. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, mountain pose. Reach all the way up. Tall and strong like a mountain, never wavering. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Push into the shins. Exhale, fold forward. One more time. Inhale, mountain pose. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, all the way to mountain pose. Exhale, fold forward. We're going to add on here. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, come to a high plank. Palms flat on the floor, just like in down dog. Step your feet back. It's a push-up position, but you really want to make sure your hips don't fall or aren't high. Try to keep them level to the ground. Perfectly acceptable just to put your knees down. You're still getting the same strengthening through your shoulders and your abs by doing this. We're gonna skip chaturanga really. So come down. Little baby cobra here. Tops of your feet press onto the floor so that your knees lift up. Arms come to your armpits, your hands come to your armpits, kind of like little grasshopper wings. And as you inhale, really pull with your lower back, lifting your head and chest off the floor. Just a little stretch, very little. But you should feel some activation right here in your lower back. Try to keep your glutes soft, but really push the tops of your feet into the floor. And put your head back down as you exhale. Rest your left cheek on the floor. Bring your arms down by your sides. Take a deep breath and just feel your heart beating against the earth. Your strong heart being supported by the strong earth. And on your next inhale, replace your chin to the floor. Bring your arms back to your armpits, or your hands, back to your armpits. Really push the tops of your feet into the floor so that your knees lift. And inhale big, pull up, lift your shoulders high. Keep your gaze just slightly forward, about 6 inches, so you can protect your neck. Just feel the back, lower back right here, sort of awakening. And exhale, put your right cheek to the floor. Bring your arms, palms up, little break. And bring your arms back to being at your armpits. Push up to a tabletop. As you come to tabletop, you're just gonna flip your toes. Remember that L, push into the palm. Starfish your fingers, push into that index finger and thumb. And you're just gonna shoot your hips up into down dog. You should feel a little bit warm, maybe a little bit longer this time. Might not be so stiff coming into down dog. Keep breathing here. Your next inhale, lift your right foot high. Rather than shoot your hip up, try to keep your your hip parallel to the floor. So instead of opening here, just keep it parallel. I like to flex my foot, even though you can't see it on camera, to keep me from shooting too high. So bring it down, kind of through your chest, as far as feels comfortable. Shoot it back up. Inhale through, hug your chest. Exhale back up. This is really just waking up the hip. Inhale through to the chest and back up. And exhale down. Back to down dog. Same thing on the other side. Take an inhale. Exhale, open mouth. On your next inhale, lift your left leg high. Make sure not to open up that hip or sink it down low. It'll create you off balance. I like to flex my foot. Make sure you're pressing into your palm in the index finger and thumb finger pads. Shoot in and hug as you exhale. Inhale high. In and round. Exhale. Up as you inhale. One more time, inhale. And exhale. Come back down to child's pose for a second. Just catch your breath. Fix any clothing that might have gotten disturbed while you're dancing in your down dog. And just breathe for a minute. I'm gonna move into half pigeon, but just take a minute to feel your body now versus when you first went into this pose at the beginning. Now's a good time to grab your pillow or your block, whatever prop you might need. I'm gonna get a pillow real quick. Actually, my bolster. I like to use this one so that I can kind of sink into pigeon a little bit deeper. So press up to the tabletop on your next inhale. We're gonna go straight to down dog where we just were, but not for long. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, open mouth. Let everything go. On your next inhale, lift your right leg high. Exhale, bring it in to make a figure 7 with your knee. So just gently make a 7, if you can imagine that. Keep your palms firm, pressing still into that index finger and thumb. You want to flex your toes so that your knee is protected. And the goal is really to try to bring this right knee as close to the right wrist as possible. You can see my rear leg is extended with my top of my foot on the floor. This is where I use a prop, whether it's a pillow or a block. I took it right in here under this hip because this is a little tight. And now, really try to lengthen through the spine as you inhale. And you exhale. It's okay if you can't come up. It's fine. Just as much as you can, try to straighten before you fold forward. So you're going to just lean over your front leg. And the goal here is to keep your hips level, parallel to the ground. A lot of times we want to either, that's why this is here, either dip down or the opposite to try to keep our hips uneven. The tendency is to lean into one. Really the goal here is to open this hip crease and keep your knee protected. Flex your foot so that it's taking the stress off your knee. And really lean into whatever prop you have, a pillow, towel, whatever, to get those hips level. Relax your left leg. Your top of your foot's just gonna hang. And as you breathe and your hip opens, the goal is to reach your arms forward and fold over that front foot and just breathe. Deep, slow breaths, because this is not easy. And just feel that stretch across your lower back, across your hip crease, and all those spaces that might be holding on to things that don't serve you any longer. And as you inhale, breathe into them. And as you exhale, let them go. And just be here and feel what your body has to tell you in this moment, in this space, on your mat. And as you sit in half pigeon, you might want to move your prop to either get deeper into the stretch as you have space created, or if it's too intense, move it where you feel comfortable, but you're still getting that deep stretch that you need in those areas. Just a few more breaths here. I don't want to rush you, but I also don't want you to hate this pose so much that you never do it again. So take one more deep breath. Exhale everything out you don't need. Walk your hands back towards your shoulders. Puff up like a proud pigeon. Remove any props. And slowly, very slowly, come up to tabletop. This is where you will feel a difference from your right side and your left. I like to make little circles with my knee, maybe open like third or three-legged dog. You can push up to down dog and open your hip this way now. Kind of wiggle and get flow back into that hip crease. And we'll meet in down dog whenever you're ready. Take a deep inhale. Deep exhale. And on your next inhale, kick your left foot high. As you exhale, you're going to bring that left knee to your left wrist. Makes a backward 7. Flex the toe. Come down onto your right knee. And this side might feel totally different than the other. Get your props where you need them to feel comfortable. And keep this foot flexed to protect this knee. Try to keep your hips as level as possible. It's awkward at first, I know. Walk your hands back. Reach tall like a proud pigeon. This back leg is as straight as you can get it with the top of your foot resting on the floor. Take a deep inhale. And as you exhale, fold over, walk your hands out. Fold over into your pigeon. Make sure your hips are level as possible and just breathe. You might notice one side feels different than the other, even in the pose. One side might feel easier or harder, or emotions that come up on one side might not come up on the other. Whatever you feel, it's perfectly fine. Just breathe and make sure you're not feeling pain. Just a couple more breaths. For some reason, I always want to stay in half pigeon on one side longer than the other, but I never want to stay in it too long. It always feels good coming out. But that's kind of like life, right? The painful parts don't feel good until you're through them. One more deep inhale. Fill up those spaces that need extra love. Exhale everything that isn't yours anymore. And on your next inhale, gently walk your hands back towards your knee. Unwind your prop. Slowly, slowly, slowly. Come out to a tabletop. Circles or hip circles. Straighten and bend, whatever feels good to get you blood flowing back into those areas. I actually like to do like a crisscross and push back, but I'll say that for another time. And then just push back into down dog. And we'll do the same thing we did on the other side just for balance. Just feel good. Take one more. Down dog. Take a deep breath in. Gaze forward. Step to your wrists. And then just come to have a seat on your bottom. We'll do one more stretch, and then I will take you to Shavasana. Kind of untuck your fluffy parts, that's what I like to call them, so that your sit bones are in direct contact with the floor. This is just a good back opener. Knees bent, keep your spine straight. Take a deep breath in, reach up high, and really reach forward, not so much down, but forward. I have no idea what that was. Reach up and forward. It's nice, relaxing. Something just fell over. And try to get your chest as close to your knees as possible. Just opening the back line of the spine. And don't worry so much about bending down as keeping that back straight and coming forward and down. Take a couple breaths here. And inhale, come up. Kind of scooch forward on your mat a little bit. Exhale down. I'm going to prop my head up just so I can see you. Get whatever kinks, shakes, wiggles you have out. Just lay. Take up as much space as you need to. Relax. Take a deep breath in. Close your eyes. Let your exhale just melt you to the floor. And just breathe and be still. Inhale and exhale. That's all you have to do right now. And relax your eyebrows, your jaw, unwrinkle your forehead. Let your shoulders fall, sink into the floor a little deeper. Let go of any tension in your elbows, your fingers, your upper back. Let your spine just sink deeper and deeper into the floor. Breathe into your hips. Let go of any tension you might still be holding there. Relax your upper legs, your calves, your ankles, all the way to your toes. And as you lay here in Shavasana, in yoga, it's called the corpse pose because all you are is just being. And as you come out of it and step off your mat, you are known to be reborn. You're different now than when you came onto your mat, and you'll be different when you leave your mat. Take one more deep breath. And let it go. Feel free to stay here as long as feels comfortable to you. And just notice how your body feels now compared to when you stepped on your mat. And just for time's sake, start to wiggle your fingers and toes if it suits you. Circle your wrists and your ankles. And keeping your eyes closed, just gently roll over onto one side, whichever is your favorite. Use your bicep closest to the floor as a pillow. Rest your other palm on the floor, just feeling the earth still supporting you, your heart beating against your chest. And with your eyes closed, just gently sit up to a seat, a comfortable seated position. And bring your hands to your heart center, the space of our body that knows exactly what it needs. Thank you so much for trusting me to guide you through this little mini yoga practice to hopefully get you some relief in those areas that you're feeling pain. And I hope it helps and opens a little bit for you to find relief. And keeping your eyes closed, just bring your thumbs to your third eye center, the seat of your intuition and all-knowing. And I like to close with the wish that you be happy mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually, in whatever ways you need healing, that you find them. The light in me sees and reflects from the light in you. Namaste. Thank you. I hope this helps. Let me know if you have any questions.